This movie is brought to you by, and is not limited to, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Von Steuben Basketball, show them some love this weekend, and Mr. Kritschka.
وعلاش ربي وعلاش لازم كل دايما يكون أنا وعلاش. That and the sounds of my mother crying and moaning is what I woke up to on December 4th, 2005. What if your whole life was bound to one decision? That if your parents didn't choose a specific area, you wouldn't have the friends you have now, the lessons in culture you may have learned, or the future that you would soon create. That was my father on March 12, 2002. That was the day he received a letter telling him that he qualified for a green card to Canada or America. He didn't have a clue what country to pick. The only thing he knew for sure was that he wasn't staying in Algeria. Sure, he loved it. Who wouldn't? It was his homeland. But with the government reforming after the Civil War, which killed over 200,000 civilians that happened only a year ago, plus the chance to give a better education for his family, he could not pass this up. With research, the decision was finally America, New York to be exact. He always heard great stories about the big city life and its great diversity. So he bought a ticket and spent a year there by himself, working 2 jobs and gathering money for us to come. After he had enough, he sent back for us to get plane tickets, and we made it off to the big city. Not too long after, I got enrolled into kindergarten. It was pretty hard for me since I barely knew a word of English, but with some nice friends I managed and was speaking fluently in a couple of months. After a few years, I started to actually feel at home in New York, almost forgetting about Algeria, but it came back, hard. On the morning of December 4th, 2005, I woke up to the sound of my mother crying. As I asked her why, she told me that yesterday our grandfather had died in his sleep due to brain cancer, and we would soon have to go to Algeria for his funeral. Before I knew it, we were back in Algeria a couple years after we left. We stayed after the funeral for over 3 months while our father helped our uncle with his new business. When it was time to go back, my family didn't want to return to New York. They liked it, but it didn't have the sense of home with it. I mean, we were the only Muslims on the block, and when it came time for Friday prayer, a prayer that has to be done in a mosque with many other Muslims, it had to be done in an indoor basketball court. My father felt like an outsider and knew there could be someplace better that had every culture and respected each other's. After looking for one, he decided Chicago would be our new home, and once again we traveled away from Algeria. Chicago felt much different, even with the many similarities to New York. First off, we were able to find a new neighborhood with a gigantic mosque, almost as big as one in Algeria. And we made friends quickly, as everyone basically had the same story as us. We felt home for once, and with my dad's new job at O'Hare Airport, we didn't feel like leaving for a while.
What you just saw in the past 4 minutes is what I lived through for over 10 years of my life. And with all the moving and immigration I have done, it has only taught me one thing. Areas and neighborhoods don't make up your home, but the friends, family, and people you meet do. So I'm blessed New York didn't work out, or else I wouldn't have the chance to be speaking to you all today. Don't search for the greatest area. Search for the greatest family you can hope to reach.